Hey, what's up, y'all? This your main man, Chingy, and check this out. You know I got soul. I know you know that, right?
All right, you know I got soul. Very excited to be here once again with Chingy. What's going on, Chingy?
What's up, man? It's a blessing. I'm here. We in Vancouver. It's going down Where the Party At Tour 2025. Nelly, Ja Rule, myself, St. Lunatics, Jaquan, and it's beautiful.
Absolutely. So I was mentioning off camera, Chingy, the last time we interviewed you was 10 years ago this day. And I got to say, man, these last 10 years for you, it's been quite a journey.
Definitely a journey.
I love seeing that people are starting to appreciate Chingy once again. The last time we spoke, you were performing at a nightclub, probably had about 200 people. Now you're doing a sold-out arena. Like, just talk about that journey and that grind of just rebuilding yourself back up there.
That journey and that grind. See, when we say rebuilding myself up, we have to understand something. In the past, it was a lot of lies, false rumors, and people trying to tear my character down and sabotage me in this business. But the truth always comes to the light. You know what I'm saying? So I've always been on the road. I've always been doing what I love to do. But for some reason, when you don't have the major record deals, the people's support is not the same. And I'm independent. You know, when you're independent, it's a little harder. It's a little more of a struggle. People can tend to think you fell off or something when they don't hear the songs on the radio as much no more. They don't see the visuals as much no more on the top video stations. They don't see you on the talk shows as much no more. But see, what you got to understand is all of that comes when you with the record labels. The record labels have all the resources. So when you're independent, that's a little harder. That's a little more harder to do and get to because all of it costs money.
Right.
Lots of it. And so I've always been around. I'm still around. And like I said, it's people that try to condemn my character, and that gave me a setback because you know what I mean when just rumors and lies that could set you back if somebody believe in false bullcrap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it could hurt you. But through it all, I still been me. I'm only Chingy, and all I got is the truth, and that prevails. And so I'm here, and I've always been doing big shows.
Yeah.
Everything. It's always been that way, but for some reason, y'all don't know how I'm telling you. It's a tough journey. It's a lot of stuff I could tell you why a lot of stuff went on, but I ain't gonna get into all of that. But just know, I've always been around. I'm always here, and the music speak for itself.
No, and that's exactly it. I think the music does speak for itself. Your music has aged really well.
Yeah.
Those female records are still big to this day.
Yeah.
The last time I spoke to you, I had asked you if you thought those female records could still work in today's era. And I felt like there was a period where people weren't really checking for that, but now it's come back full circle. People are looking for that again. And, just talk about at that time when you were making it, did you know it would have the impact that it has had today?
Did I know it would have the impact it had today? But the people who love great music gonna always love that great music.
Yeah.
It's nothing you could do about it. And this is how I look at music, especially those great records. When you think about it, when somebody says something is old,
yeah,
okay, I still listen to Luther Vandross songs
right, yep.
today more than I listen to a lot of the music that came out today.
Yep.
So how is that Luther Vandross song old?
Right.
If it's still people that's listening to it just as much today.
Yep.
So it's all about your perception and the way you think. Nothing's ever really old.
Right.
It's just how you perceive it. You know what I mean? And so my music is timeless.
Yeah.
So when I think about making it thin, the point of me making it thin was for it to last.
Right.
You can put any one of those songs on today and it sounds just as great as it did then.
Yeah.
That's why those songs are always trending. That's why people always want to hear those songs. That's why those songs are part of people's life.
Yeah.
It's part of the core of their journey. It's a theme song to the soundtrack of their life, whether they were in high school, college. It brings you back to a place that's so memorable and nostalgic that you just like, wow, I can never forget this time. And that music was a part of that time for a lot of people. And not only that, it's a newer generation of people who appreciate the music that are fans now.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised that I have 10-year-old kids come up to me, telling me I'm their favorite rapper. And you thinking like, how? But they parents, it's becoming generational.
Right.
They parents is listening to it, putting them up on it, and they like it. I hear this a lot. So man, I'm just grateful that I'm doing what I'm doing still.
Yeah.
To this day. You know what I mean? These are big arenas.
Yep.
10,000 people, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But we still doing that today.
Yeah, exactly. And
it's beautiful.
I think it's really cool because, especially back then with all the blogs and reviewers, you know, we used to throw out words like only good for its time or trendy. And like that, I think those type of words can affect an artist.
We limit ourselves.
But I think for you, you never let that get to you.
I would never do it.
You continue to just make the music that you wanted to make, and I think
Even
it's paid
today,
off. It's paid off.
I've released recently 2 EPs, Pick 3 Volume 1, Pick 3 Volume 2.
Yep.
Before that, I released Chinglish. I've
That's
been
right.
releasing a lot of music.
Yep.
Great music, too.
Yep.
It's not just, it's great music, but it's me. I won't conform to what's trendy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do what I love to do, and
Right.
how I love to do it. That's what makes me me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, yeah, man, I just never give in to the trends just for a second. The songs that came out last year, you don't hear no more.
Right.
The songs that came out 5 years ago, you don't hear no more. The songs that came out 10 years ago, you don't hear no more.
Yeah.
But I tell you this, my records are still being appreciated to this day.
Yep.
And they're timeless, classic. They're like antique cars from 1920s.
Right. And you know what? I love earlier you mentioned Luther Vandross. The last time I spoke to you,
I love Luther Vandross.
You mentioned Patti LaBelle, Shaka Khan. This is all the
All
music you grew up
Patti
loving.
LaBelle, Shaka Khan,
Yep.
Temptations.
Michael Jackson was your
Gerald
favorite?
Levert. Michael Jackson is the reason I perform on stage.
Yep.
So many legendary people whose music still resonates to this day and will always resonate. And you can't, it lives on because sound is creation.
But I'll tell you what's really cool, Chingy, is this R&B influence that you have has allowed you to do something that I don't think a lot of rappers can say that they can do. You're one of the only few. I mean, Ja's another one, Nelly's another one, where you guys can perform at a hip-hop concert like this. And at the same time, you can also be a part of an R&B concert like you were with the Millennium Tour. Yeah. And it doesn't look like you stick out.
No,
you're
not
just
at
part
all,
of it because the music felt good.
We transcend the genres.
Yeah.
We transcend the genres. Man, I remember when we put Right There out and they put it out urban, it went pop.
Yeah.
It went pop very quick.
Yeah.
It wasted no time going pop at mainstream. That wasn't me sitting saying, let me make an urban song.
Right.
Let me make a pop song. That was me saying, let me make a song that everybody will like. That was it.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. That's why if you go out in that crowd, you'll see Asian people,
yep,
European people, African people, Russian people. You'll see all type of nationalities because we transcend the genres.
Yeah.
And I'm speaking for me, Nelly, Ja Rule, because we have that type of music.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I want to talk on Chinglish. That was the EP that you dropped a couple years back, and I had a chance to listen to that. And I think first and foremost, you still sound like you're hungry. It sounds like you still enjoy making music. A lot of your peers, they've kind of just stopped doing that. They just focus on the touring. But I think the other aspect of it is records like Rewind Time or Can't Blame Me. I felt like that was a little different from what I was used to hearing from Chingy, but I appreciate it because it showcased growth. It showcased that you wanted to evolve as an artist, but you still had the party records.
But you know, when you listen to those records, and I have to always say this, because I actually been making music like that. If you go back to Jackpot and listen to Represent, and then listen to Rewind Time, they kind of to it. It's still there. That type of vibe is there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So sometimes, you know, we could get caught up in the singles.
Of course.
They get so big.
Of course.
And we can overlook what's really on the album.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I've always, how I've always been rapping and how I've always been. And then you got to think about this. It's a lot of songs that don't get picked for the album.
Yep.
That be different stuff.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And so, but you know, that's labels and stuff for you.
Yeah.
But man, I just make music that I feel that I like, that everyday people can relate to. Probably growing up where I grew up in the inner city, the ghetto, but I don't just make music for people in the inner city, the ghetto.
Right,
I love making party music for everybody across the globe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's just what I stick to.
No, it's funny you mentioned these unreleased songs. I was talking to Darius, that's both of our guy right there.
Yeah.
He's talking about a record you did for the third album with Kanye West. And I'm like, I've never heard this record before. Where's that song at?
Was it We Just Getting Started?
Yeah.
dope record.
Yeah.
I did like 4 records with Kanye West
Wow.
that we didn't release.
Wow.
And Let's Get It Started, just getting started was man.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been trying to hit Darius up for that record for years, and he's just like, in due time.
Wow, that brings me back. I
Yeah.
remember recording that record. I remember with Kanye, because we did like 2 songs together too.
Yeah.
I remember he would go in the booth and mumble.
Yep.
And I was like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, he would go in there and mumble. I didn't know then he was just getting his melody.
Yeah, of course.
And he was going to come back to it. I was thinking, like, this dude is mumbling in there. Like, but shout out to Kanye West.
Yeah, for sure.
I know everybody got something to say about him right now, but whatever. He's still a great...
He's still a genius.
He's still a great dude that makes great music.
Yeah, for sure.
In my eyes, but, yep.
But a record that did come out that became a huge smash, I feel like it's kind of one of those like gems that don't get talked about anymore just because Houston's no longer active in music, but I like that. And what you told me recently or a while back was that was a song that you created. That was a song you wrote. Let's talk about the origins of that one.
If you listen to it, where that came from was the end of Right There. When I said, I like that, so I decided to make a song out of that.
Wow.
And so I like that from Houston is that song that I decided to make out of that.
Yeah.
Because we was finna work on my second album. They needed a song for Houston.
Yeah.
So me and the Track Stars gave them that.
Yeah. No, that's a timeless record, and that's one of those records when people hear, they're like, I forgot about it, but it's still smashing.
Oh no, they didn't.
No,
they forgot about it. When I perform it.
Yeah, I'll be on the lookout for that. But that was one of those records that ended up on McDonald's advertisements. Just talk about that from a business standpoint. Like, I don't think you probably even knew what that meant at the time, did you?
Huge record. I knew what it meant, but I wasn't into the business side like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just knew. You go to McDonald's. If they playing I Like That, showing you a burger, I like that. It makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I coined that. I like that. That was me. So it's still me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it was a beautiful thing. And for McDonald's or whoever used the song as a marketing strategy, it was going to be brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, that's imprinted into McDonald's history now, and that's pretty cool stuff. So, Chingy, just wrapping up here, we spoke about 10 years ago and where you were at that stage 10 years later. Like, where do you see Chingy going moving forward? It seems like you still want to release music. You're obviously going to still be on the road. But I know you've been doing some stuff outside of music, too, to give back. Just talk about what's coming up for Chingy.
What's coming up for Chingy, man, I just, you know what, man, I stay in the moment.
Yeah.
I stay in the right now.
Yeah.
So I love doing music. I love performing. So I'm working on a new project. You know, we on the road damn near all this year. On this tour, I'm just working. You know what I'm saying? I'm just working, man. I got some little sitcom stuff I'm writing, little movie stuff I'm writing. I'm doing some voiceover work. I'm just taking it day by day.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And day by day is, I think, the way to go. Because I want to bring it back to what you were mentioning earlier. Just a lot of stuff brought you down during those early years. Like, how did you keep your mind sane during those times? Because the media,
I keep my mind sane?
Yeah, just talk about all of that. Yeah.
Because I know me.
Yeah.
See, this is the thing that people can tend to forget.
Yeah.
With themselves. I know myself.
Yeah.
I have self-knowing. You know what I mean? I know me. I would never let somebody get to me who don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Even though they lying and all of that, I can never let them get to me to the point where it bring me down.
Yeah. Because
all that stuff going to come to light. So I just keep moving forward.
Yeah.
I just keep moving forward. Even though I lost a lot.
Yeah.
Like from the situation, I lost a record deal.
Yeah.
I had a MasterCard, my own Chingy Master. I lost a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah.
For somebody lying.
Yeah.
I lost a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And unfortunately, people allowed people to do that.
Yeah.
You know,
for sure.
Nobody really stood up for me.
Yeah.
You know, I had to. I just shook it off my shoulders. I kept going.
Yeah.
But eventually, things come to the light.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, Chingy, just from my time of getting to know you, people around me that know you as well, they all say the same thing. Chingy's a stand-up person. He's always been solid. And I appreciate you for always taking the time out to talk to us. Your music is timeless, and we appreciate that.
Thank you.
But with that said, is there anything that you'd like to add?
I just want to say I appreciate all the fans, the people that have been holding Chingy down. Hit up Chingy369.com. That's my site where you can get the new music, previous music. I got my clothing line, 9 Ether.
Nice.
Right here. You checking it out. This is my clothing line. You can go in there and check that out as well. I got the Chingy merch. I got the Right There our merch. And, yeah, you can get all the tour dates on there and everything, man. I got my own fragrances. Catch for men, caught for the ladies. You can check it out on the site. I do everything on Chingy369.com, so check it out. And follow me on all my socials, at Chingy, IG, Facebook, Chingy369, my YouTube, TikTok at Chingy. Follow me.